Before we do that, we're going to do a little chat with Mr. Jim Dale, author of Surviving Extreme Weathers, which, of course, as far as I'm concerned, the whole bunkum about, you know...
He's currently calling us from a hurricane.
We're going to kill everybody because of driving cars. Everything's going to be terrible. You know, the climate's always changed. It will change, and eventually human beings won't be able to make a life
But
of
now they've got new technology cars, and now only kids in Africa going down mines are killed.
But listen, Jim, welcome to the programme. Let's not talk about that tonight.
Good evening.
Tell me the impact of Donald Trump's climate policies if he gets in, as we all hope he will, gets into power in America.
The first thing to say is we don't all hope he will get in.
Sorry, all sensible, intelligent people.
Well, let me speak. The majority in this country do not hope he gets in. And the reason one of the reasons from my side of the fence in terms of climate is because he is a man-made climate denier. He's promised to put more CO2 into the atmosphere, which won't help affairs that are going on left, right and centre at this moment in time. So common sense dictates. I'm really glad that he's got a good opposition now. It looks like Trump's going to lose, so maybe we don't have to worry too much.
I don't think he will. But that's beside the point. I mean, nobody, if he denies climate change, he's being a bit stupid. Climate has always changed, will always change. And I'm a great believer in cleaning up the planet. Don't get me wrong. I think I think the amount of rubbish we all leave everywhere. Just drive up a motorway anywhere and see the rubbish in the middle of the motorway. It's disgusting. Let's get all the prisoners out on chain gangs and clear them.
They're already out.
Yeah.
James, on your little point about climate always changing, of course it's always changed, but it's changed over thousands, if not millions of years.
We don't know that.
The last ice age was 20,000 years ago. Okay, so what we're seeing over this last decade in particular, but the last 30 years, is a massively accelerated rate. So, for example, 2023 was the hottest year on record per se.
They always say that.
2024.
But that record doesn't go back that far. That record doesn't go back that far, and the problem
it goes far enough to look. When you sit there and argue that climate change, you're arguing not against me necessarily. You're arguing against the World Met Department. You're arguing against NASA. NOAA,
I've spoken to people from NASA about this, and they will say, yeah, you know, the climate's changing, and it's changing a bit quicker now than it used to, and it's not changing that fast. But there are times when the climate has changed incredibly fast. Just before the last ice age, apparently it started.
I mean, is it correlation or causation? Some people say the heating of the Earth is releasing the CO2, not the way around everyone's saying. It's just attack-throughs, and it's a way of controlling populations.
I think what we have to do here is look
at
what's happening. Yeah, Ash, what we have to do is look at what's happening around the globe in terms of it might not be necessarily happening too much in the UK, although we had a very, very wet record spring, early summer.
Great for the garden. Great for the garden.
Not great for farmers. If any farmers are listening to this, they will tell you absolutely.
Well, apparently global warming does benefit the UK,
But if you want to see cars travelling down, not roads, well, actually roads that are now rivers, and there's plenty
like Venice.
of that going on left, right and centre. If you want to see wildfires of the
floods have been caused primarily. It has rained. It's been a very wet spring. You're absolutely right, but that does happen from time to time. I'm not denying all this, by the way. I'm just saying this incredible stupidity about net zero. We've got to get rid of cars. We've got to do this. We've got to change the way we do that. Is going to leave people who are very hard up now.
It's killing old people.
Even harder up.
Nobody's saying don't drive your car. Nobody's saying don't get on a plane.
They are saying that.
What you do with this? If you get on a plane, you offset your CO2. You ask them to do. You pay to do it.
Oh, you pay money and then the world's all right. There's no problem with the world.
Well,
the money stops the science.
Ash, everybody's got to do a little bit, because if we don't do a little bit, we're going to be in big trouble.
Well, why aren't you in China then telling them?
Well, I am.
Are you?
I'm in China, but no, I'm not in China.
Are you in China now?
I'm quite happy to... Look, the Chinese are moving in that direction. They're the biggest operator.
You're ignoring the question. Why don't you go to China and stir it up a bit?
Show us out the window and prove you're in China.
James, you know full well that that's an impossibility. You can't go and stir it up. You'd be arrested. You know this.
Yeah.
So, look, they're moving in the right direction with their solar...
Exactly. opening more coal mines and opening more...
But not opening more. It's reached a peak and it's now coming away.
Then we need to open a couple here, don't we? Because if we opened... Hang on. If we opened... Just a minute. If we opened a coal mine here, or couple, then we wouldn't have to import coal, and probably importing coal, because we're going to need it for a long time to make electricity.
James, did you last look at the coal usage for power in the UK? Because over the last 6 months, it's been virtually zero. It's an old thing. You're arcing back, you know.
Then why are we still buying it from abroad?
Are you sure it's zero?
No. Why are we buying it from
near zero?
It doesn't matter. Why are we buying it? We obviously still need it because we're still buying it from other countries.
I'm not sure we are, to be honest with you. But I'll tell you what is going in the right direction. I'll tell you what is going in the right direction. That is sun, solar, and tide.
Yeah.
You know, making up sometimes 60% of the needs, plus the nuclear. And then the rest of it is gas and oil, imported, by the way, from places like Russia, which is why the likes of Reform UK want to hold hands with Putin, etc. So we can go into this.
I'm sorry. That is complete facile information. Bye-bye, Jim. Sorry, I wanted to have a sensible discussion, and that really takes it to the max. I'm fed up with this.
Now look what you've done.
You know, the climate is changing. Eventually, it's going to get very, very difficult for people, human beings, to live on this planet. We know that.
Last week was horrendous.
But this entire ridiculous continuation of, it's desperate, I've got to block the motorway to make everybody stop doing it, is getting on everybody's nerves. The majority of people realise we've got to clean ourselves up. Too much plastic, too much waste, too much litter. And, we can actually stop polluting the atmosphere. We've stopped polluting the atmosphere an enormous amount since the Industrial Revolution. But mankind isn't going to last forever. And not only is the climate changing, certain parts of this planet will become unlivable.
But look at that smear at the end. That just shows us sort of where he's coming from. There was a little dig, wasn't there, which was a load of bunkum.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, but I can't handle that. He's not coming on again. I thought I'd give him a... Sandra, what do you want to say?
Voice message.
Hi, James. Hi, Ash. Just wanted to say that it's really horrible how they are non-stop picking on Nigel. And there's lots of people like me who are actually wanting to vote reform before Nigel even became the leader. I personally didn't even know that Nigel was anything to do with the party.
Right, Sandra, thank you very much indeed. Carl, what do you think, Carl?
Can I just say as well, James, I followed your radio show back in the 90s, back on the Tommy Boyd and TVS late night shows. You've always been a consummate voice.
I don't normally, Carl, let people come on and say this.
But you're still doing it.
That's very, very sweet of you.
And I'm glad that you're still broadcasting.
Carl, thank you very much.
I think he mixed us up.
Very nice. Should we do, if you want to leave a message, those were messages. But I prefer to call and talk to you. Helen.
Blackheath Helen.
Hi, James. Hi. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to pick my tongue off the floor. I don't know where to start.
Helen, fancy ringing a programme on TV and radio when you've got a child to look after.
What? Licking the floor?
Licking the floor?
Why are you licking the floor?
I haven't got a child to look after. I'm trying to pick my tongue off the floor, my gob shut, and Jim Dale is not my favourite guy. He is not my favourite guy.
Who?
And he's talking about whatever crap, Jim Dale, whatever. He's talking about...
So what do you want to say anyway?
I can't remember what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you very much, Helen. Let's talk to Kevin.